Hello, my name is Ben, and I'm the pastor at Aner Baptist Church. This morning I was preaching my sermon, this is Sunday, and brought up something that God had laid upon my heart this week as I'm praying for the condition of our nation. And it just seemed to me that there was so much division, and I didn't necessarily know how to process that. And some of you may be in that boat. And what happens is when we can't process something or we don't understand it, we tend to turn away from it. We get angry about it. We discount it. We end up in arguments with people. And sometimes people just start calling each other names. In the end, that process has no finality to it. It just makes people break down in their relationship with one another, and basically we end up start deleting friends. That's what happens, right? Facebook, just delete everybody who doesn't agree with us. Well, today I want to talk to you about something that God delivered to my heart this week, and it's called the Wheel of Perspective. What I would like for you to do is to get a piece of paper and draw a circle on it like this one here. Okay? What I've done here now is I've got this circle, and on it, I've got all these little lines, and you probably can't see them, but I'm going to read to you what they are. These are things that I know that are important in my life. Some of this may not be on your wheel. There may be other things on your wheel. There are things that are important. There are things that impact my life. There are things that cause me to be who I am on a day-to-day basis. So if you make this wheel and you put these things in here, see, I've got things like school, friends, work, money, church, the internet, freedom, my boss, taxes, guns, vacation, the government, your mayors, all your leaders, the law, drugs, sex, exercise, safety, home. These are all important things, right? You got to have a shelter over your head. Food, you got to have food. The basic needs of security and safety. Savings, your savings account, games, to some books, TV, sickness, cars, family, your bills. That pretty much makes up my quick circle that I made. Now here's where this gets interesting. If I take something on this wheel and I say, what's important to me on this wheel? Okay? So I'm going to use church. Church is important. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the center here, I'm going to draw a dot, and I'm going to draw a dot over here for reference. Church is important to me. And then what I want to do is I want to take, and I want to draw a line from everything here that impacts church on it's impacting my church life experience in somewhat of a negative regard. Okay? So let's go with the biggies, right? Government's impacting my right to go to church. The law is impacting my right to go to church. Right? Safety is impacting my right to go to church. Right? Money could be impacting your right to go to church. Right? Your boss, if he's got you working on Sunday because it's the only day you can do work. Right? What else could be impacting your friends? Peer pressure. Right? How about this one? This is a good one. Sickness is impacting me from going to church. There's one. The bills. Can't go to church because of the bills. Right? The TV is telling me church is not necessary. That's in there. Here's the wheel perspective. This is your now perspective on all these things that we have the lines on your interest of church. See, if church is important to you, these things are in your way, what happens is we begin to see these things as obstacles. They no longer become reality. They no longer become people. They become something that's an obstacle that has to be removed. Obstacles, we jump over them. Hurdles, we get over them. Knock them down, get them out of our way. If you're in construction, bulldozers, you just remove all the obstacles. Just knock down all the trees, the old walls, the old house, just knock it all down. See, that's what we're seeing in society today. What we're seeing is, all the people that are in there now are becoming our enemies now. Because from our perspective, the most important thing to me is church. And all these other people who are stopping me from going to church are now my enemies. See, that's the real perspective. If you do that with anything, right? If you're a college student and you're trying to go to school and you're trying to prepare for your career and your future, and you start doing this, who's preventing you? Who do you think in your mind, who is, according to your perception, is now your enemy? I want to challenge you in this, that what you do is you begin to look at perspectives of what your perspective is towards the people and how we're treating each other. Another thing I think is very important is to maybe take somebody else's perspective of something that's very important to them and see what it is that could be hindering them from accomplishing or enjoying what it is that's important to them. Deal with somebody who's dealing with a lot of pain issues. Their number one issue is drugs. They're trying to get away from the pain. And now you've got all these things that are inhibiting them from dealing with their pain adequately. You see how quickly people become obstacles and things that need to be removed? And how we can hurt one another in public because what our desire is or what our interest is more important than any person out there. And see, every single person has this wheel. And I think in today's America right now, we need to start understanding where their perspective is. It's not necessarily sin. See, the Bible says, in your anger, do not sin. It doesn't say that anger is sin. It says in your anger, don't sin. You can be angry about something. You can be upset about it. But when we start going out and knocking down people's lives and destroying what it is they have and burning down their homes and their businesses and doing these things, we have to stop and look at our perspective for a moment and say, is this the way that I should be treating my fellow man? Is this the way that fellow man should be treating one another? Is this the way that we want our society and our future to represent? See, there's obstacles out there, and some obstacles just can't be satisfied. Moved out of the way. Some of them, it's not about an overarching government policy that's just, it's just sometimes there are things that we have to work through. Sometimes it takes time. Individually sorting through our life issues. Sickness, for one. Sickness is one thing that it can take years and years. And you know, I have friends of mine who've been through cancer more than once. We're going through it again. We're going through it a third time, a fourth time. I know a little boy who went through it 5 times. Sometimes it can't be sorted out. We have to be able to deal with God on that. And that's the great thing about God is that no matter what your perspective is, God is there to help us. Okay. Hope that helps you this morning to be able to maybe see from somebody else's perception of what their life is like. Maybe it can help you to point them in the direction of how to overcome that. Or be able to at least grab their hand and say, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. The Bible says to laugh at those who laugh and cry with those who cry. It's an important position to take. It's a position of compassion and empathy. God bless you. Hope this was a good point for you today, and it helps you through the week. God bless you all.